So, a very warm welcome to this leader show, and I'm very super duper excited to host this one amazing lady. Her name is Riddhi Deorah. She's an entrepreneur, coach, social media content creator, a parenting expert, life coach, and she has her own company, Easy Parenting Hub, and she's on a beautiful mission to help mothers feel more courageous, confident, and creative. This is such a beautiful mission that you are on, and thank you so much for the work that you are doing. And the biggest fact is that she has been able to impact across a half a million parents, or at least mothers, live a life or at least learn the skill of right parenting. So hats off to you. You are super inspiring, and it's an honor for me to host you on this show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gargi, for having me here. And I absolutely want to appreciate you and congratulate you for the amazing work that you're doing. It's just fantastic. I don't know what I was doing at your age. I was probably, just eating mangoes from the tree and, just, uh, yeah, but it is just phenomenal what the work that you're doing. And I also feel that age is just a number. The impact that you're creating is just massive. So hats off to you too.
Thank you so much.
Around campfires.
So, we are starting with the first question, and my question to you is you have been able to impact so many lives of mother, helping them learn the right skill of parenting. So, everything comes back to a reason of why do we do what we do. So, what led you on this path of parenting, and what made you, what was that story that led you on this path?
Yes, that's a great question. So I'd never ever decided or imagined that I would be a parenting coach and that this is something that I would be doing. So I have a background in economics and then I was in the fashion retail industry for over eight years. So it started off with casual wear on Flipkart, on Amazon, and I was also rated as one of their top sellers. And then I started my own luxury apparel brand exclusively for women, and mostly we used to do trousseau wear and had my own store and lots of multi designer stores. And then I get married and pregnancy happens, and I was really looking forward to that whole new phase and new chapter in my life, but it wasn't as smooth as I would have loved it to be. I had to go through a lot of low life condition. Once the child came through, I was trying to be a very possessive mother. And my child was my mission, vision, everything about my life was about my child. I quit my career. I decided to be a full time mom. I thought that, I just have to be there for my child all the time. And that's what I did, but I was really struggling because, I was not happy because no matter how much I did, I always felt that it's not good enough. And also because I quit everything else in life, I was not happy because I was not living my life according to my core values. So there was always like disharmony that I was going through. And but luckily, I realized that I needed help and it could not continue like this for too long. And that's what I did. I reached out for help and I surrendered to my mentor, and that's how everything started to change. Like it was the same me, same child, same house, same in-laws, same husband, everything was the same, but my experience was very different. For the first time in like after 7 8 months of becoming a mother, I was truly enjoying my child, and I was not like forcing myself to enjoy my child. I was actually enjoying my time with my child. And that's when I realized that, if somebody like me, who's been pretty much been blessed with everything, can go through such a low life condition, there are so many mothers who must be going through this. And also realized that learning is really helping me. That every time I'm getting access to good information, my life is also improving on the outside, on the inside. Overall experience as a mother was improving. And I was on one of these Buddhism meetings. And the topic for her discussion meeting was the importance of sharing your experience with others. And I don't know what happened to me during that meeting. It was just like, a bulb went on, and I was like, I have to go out and share my experience with others because I'm being very selfish if I don't do that. But I'm a very shy, introverted kind of a person. So I just didn't know where to start, how to make it happen. All I knew was that I want to make it happen. I was really desperate to share, to be honest, because I had gone through so much mess, and now I really wanted to turn my mess into a message. So, I was just sitting with my husband. We were having tea in the evening, and I was telling him that, this is something that I really want to do. I just don't know how to do it. He was like, why don't you start sharing your story on Instagram? Because that's where mothers are hanging out. And he's like, a marketing guy, so he knows who's where and all of that. So I was like, okay, but I'm not like an Instagram kind of a person. That's not something that comes naturally to me, because I'm like a very close kind of. I didn't have like any presence on social media. All my, even if I did have pictures, they were like all private, only visible to me. So I was like, I don't think I can do this. But you were like, no, let's turn this into a bet. So we turned it into a bet, and you were like, we're gonna keep it open for one day, and we'll see if you get more than 500 followers next day. We'll keep it open, and if you get less than that, we're gonna close it. And that's exactly what we did. And I renamed it. We called it Mom on Skates. And yeah, next day when I woke up, I was completely blown away. I had more than 800 followers, more than 2000 plus messages from mothers, and the entire day I was on Instagram that day, answering messages, listening to their stories, and reading their stories. And that was a huge validation that I was not alone. And there were so many mothers who were going through this. And yes, since then, there has been no looking back. I got certified as a parenting expert, got multiple international degrees. And yes, the mission that I breathe, feel, sleep, eat, dream, repeat is that I want to help mothers become confident, creative, and courageous. Because I know that the more we work on ourselves, the lesser we need to work on our children. So that's how it started. Yes. So, yes, it's a little long. I tried to drop a few pieces in between, but yes, so I think, got through that challenge in my life to put me on this path. And even now, when I'm doing what I do, I just feel that I'm doing God's work. Like He's doing it, and I'm just the vessel facilitating it. Because, like I said, I never imagined that I would be doing what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. I can just go on listening to you because, I can connect with your story, especially that part of introvert because I myself is the biggest introvert I feel because apart from the work I do, because we need to connect with people here. Apart from it, I am also a very shy, less confident person, so that part really connected, and I also started my journey on social media just to help. Otherwise, till then, I never had any motivation to be on Instagram. So, thank you
Right.
so much for sharing that story, and thank you for the work you do.
Awesome. Thank you.
My next question to you is like in today's age, people are basically, especially the students, because of their access to technology on their fingertips, most of them are always on their phone. And that's why parents, when they tell the child not to be on phone all the time, they don't listen to them. So how can the parents handle this situation of training their child to use social media for the advantage rather than going into distractions?
Right. So, see, this is not just to do with the parents. So, first, let me tell you, why do we always want the screen, and why does a child want the screen all the time? Because understanding the why is very important before we get to the how. So, every time, not just children, even as adults, right? Every time you get access to the screen, there is a neurotransmitter that's released in your body, which is called dopamine, which is the feel good hormone, right? So now the brain is creating neural pathways, that, every time I get access to the screen, dopamine is being released. So now when the parents take the phone away, the dopamine suddenly falls, right? And now the brain is sending the signal to the child that, get the phone back because we need more dopamine to feel good, right? Now the problem that's happening is that our children are only dependent on the phone for dopamine. There are no other experiences that are being created indoor, at least, which they could go to for dopamine. So as a parent, what we need to do is we need to create multiple experiences for our children within the house, which is going to release dopamine for them. Because if you notice, if children are playing outside in the park or if they're shopping, they're not dependent on their phone anymore, because then the dopamine requirement is being met. Once they're inside, they don't have much to do, they're not feeling excited about anything, there are no other activities to look forward to, parents are also becoming very busy. So now your child really wants to feel good and the child is going back to the screen, right? And social media is a byproduct of screen time, right? Now you have access to screen. Okay, now I have the screen. Now what do I do with the screen? Let me go see what's happening on social media. Let me go see what's happening. So one is that, we would have to definitely create more experiences as parents. Second is to sort of be more conversational with your child and talk to them about the benefits and the disadvantages of too much screen time. That's also very important, because children like to understand when you give them a logic. But if you're not giving them a logic and you're just trying to be very bossy that I said 30 minutes means 30 minutes, you better give the phone back to me, it doesn't work. And it still might work when they're little tiny or small, but teenagers, you can't speak to them like that. They're not going to listen to you, because now they're very strongly trying to tell you that, please understand that I have a life of my own. You don't own me, right? And that's very important. So you need to sort of give them proper logic to everything that you are sharing. And if you can do that, they would be willing to hear you out and they'll be willing to listen to you. So I think these two things, and of course, getting them to understand would also depend on whether they themselves are motivated to do something. Like, like you are using social media for the right reasons, right? There are children who are not doing it for the right reasons because they are not on the right direction maybe right now. And it's not completely their fault, because when we are young, we need somebody to sort of navigate us and to put us on the right path. So if you can do that as a parent, that would be great. So I think just taking care of these 2-3 things, and also trusting your child, that I trust that you are going to decide what's good for you. So if my child wants extra screen time, I tell him that, what, now you're becoming big, I don't have a problem with giving you 10-15 minutes extra screen time, but your eyes and your brain and everything is your property. You need to decide how much you want to take care of it. So if you feel 1 hour extra screen time is okay for you, go ahead. And when you put the responsibility on them, when you shift it to them, they are very wise. They would do what's the right thing. But if you're trying to act bossy and tell them that, you have to do it because I'm telling you to do it, they're like, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I'm going to do what feels right to me. So I think, just these few things. And also, one last thing, I'm sorry, when it comes to parenting, I'm in my flow state, is understanding that, you should start early. Like, because our children are born into a world of technology, but we give them access. It's not like they were born with a phone, we show it to them, right? So initially what we do is we use it for our own convenience. Like, I'm having tea with my friend, I want some free time, they're like, yeah, phone le lo, just watch it. And then later when it gets too much, we suddenly want to take it away. So training is easy, but to quit something is difficult. To start smoking is easy, but to quit smoking is difficult. So what the mistake that we make is we first put them on that path and then we try to suddenly pull them out. It becomes very difficult for them and it becomes very difficult for us as parents also. So a good idea is to go through short-term pain for long term gain. But if you're looking for short term gain, you'll have to go through that long term pain of, trying to pull them back. Yes.
Awesome. While listening to you, I am getting so many new perspectives and can totally feel your love for your topic of parenting.
Yes.
So, the one thing that really touched me was give the child or the teenager the responsibility. Don't show them the bossy behavior, because if you show, they are not going to listen to you. But if you give them the responsibility, that's your body, it's your
Yes.
ears, your eyes, that will give them some chance to actually reduce it. So thank you for adding that perspective.
Yes. And with
Now,
a lot of love.
yes,
With a lot of love and smile on the face, not like,
yes.
yes,
So with care, we need to handle every step.
yes,
Great. Now my next question to you is because parents are coming from a place of love, they don't want their child to experience the pain, experience the negativity, failures, and that's why they try to interfere. So maybe the child wants to become something else, but if the parent does not believe in that career, they are feeling that you go on this path, not on yours, because I know you won't be successful. They are just coming from that place of love. But how can we make the parents understand that it's okay if the child is going through their own experiences? They are going to learn it and they are going to change it. So, how can we make them understand this point?
yes. That's a beautiful question, and a lot of us go through it. So let me, yeah. So like we come back, like to planet Earth, and like the body is not strong enough to hold the whole soul. So only a part of the soul comes back with us when we come back, and that part of the soul comes back which was not able to learn the lessons it was supposed to learn the last time, right? And now God is throwing challenges uh, along the way for the soul to learn the lessons that we were not able to learn the previous time, right? So now as a parent, if my child is going through a problem, or if my child thinks that he wants to do something, and if I'm trying to rescue my child because I feel that this might hurt my child, or this might not be the best thing for my child, and if I'm trying to rescue my child, I'm actually stealing away that opportunity of growth from my child, right? Which means that my child is not going to be able to learn the lesson that my child is supposed to learn. And understand, if you're not able to learn the lesson the first time, the challenge comes back with more intensity. So, in my head, I'm feeling that I'm making it easier for my child, but I'm actually making it more difficult for my child, because next time it's going to come back with more intensity. And maybe I'm there next time also to rescue my child, but there is no guarantee that I'm always going to hang around and that I'm always going to be there to be able to rescue my child from every situation, right? So that's one way of looking at it. If you feel that by helping your child you're actually helping your child, you're actually not helping your child. You're actually making it worse for your child, because you're not allowing your child to grow and learn the message that your child is supposed to learn. That's one. And the second is, like, if your child wants to do something, it is your responsibility as a parent to let your child do it, because you are not what your parents wanted you to be 100%. Like you and I, and maybe my mother wanted me to be somebody. Maybe I'm not what she really wanted. She's never told me what she wanted me to be, but I'm sure as a parent, everybody has like dreams in their head, or they have a picture of their child becoming something. So I'm sure she must have carried some image in her head. She's never told me about it. But even if you're being very vocal about it and you are telling your child about it, understand that you're not exactly what your parents wanted you to be, and your child is not going to be exactly what you want your child to be. And the sooner you understand this, the better it is both for you and your child, because the most important thing is the relationship and the bond that you share with your child. So even if your child, let's say if you want your child to become an engineer and your child wants to become a life coach, and let's say you force your child to become an engineer, I'm sure as a mother, you're not going to be happy with a very successful engineer who is not happy about the relationship he or she shares with you, and not just with you as a parent. If they are not doing something that they were meant to do, they're not going to be happy with themselves. So you decide what is more important to you as a parent, whether your child's happiness and the bond that you share with your child is more important, or your child becoming an engineer and earning a lot of money, which also there is no guarantee, is more important. So you decide. We are all wise enough to decide what is important for us, and I feel that your life gets decided based on the choices that you make. So it's my humble request to all the parents out there that please let them be and let them do what they are meant to do, because for all you know, they might actually become much bigger and much better than you had actually dreamt of. Like, maybe you're thinking engineer, but maybe your child is supposed to be like one of the top 10 entrepreneurs that the world is waiting for. So why do you want to put that pressure on your child? Yes.
Awesome. So you need to decide whether your child's happiness and your bond is more important, or what you want them to be, and even if they are not successful, they are not happy from their heart. Thank you so much. I think each one who is listening this interview, I'm sure they are just receiving so many things from you, the golden nuggets. So hats off to you and your work.
And hats off to your questions. I'm really amazed by the quality of your questions. Yes.
Thank you so much. So now my next question is like, how can parents instill a strong work ethic in their children to get them on a routine that they can follow for their lifetime? So it's said that the sooner you catch up your child's routine, you help them make their routine by sitting along with them, not only making by your own choice. It's better for them because they are into that disciplined life. So how can someone do that?
So here I would say it would depend a lot about what is it that you're modeling as a parent for your child, and the environment that you're creating for your child, because it's not like something that you can force your child. Let's say if you're not getting up in the morning and you're expecting your child to wake up at 6, it's not going to happen. If you want your child to wake up at 6, you better wake up at 5, 5:30. Right? If you want your child to eat at the dining table, you better sit there and eat. So I think it's very simple, this one. If you want your child to have some structure, routine, discipline, predictability, then it's very important for you to create that environment for your child and to do it yourself. So I feel that everything that you expect from your child, you should first do it. And if you're doing it, the chances that your child would be doing it would be very high. And it's very simple. There are families that where people are now working, they're just sitting and watching Netflix, and you cannot expect the child to not watch screen. Then of course your child is going to watch screen, right? And if you're sitting and reading a book and your child has been watching that, then your child is going to read books even if you don't ask your child to read books, right? So it's all about what you're modeling and the environment that you're creating for your child. And if you can do that, it happens. And I'm not a very strong believer in making very strong rigid routines for our children. I like them to be like in like flow and have fun. I've just fixed a few elements which I like to call non-negotiables, like sleep time. And if you fix the sleep time, the wake up time automatically gets decided. And also eat something healthy before you eat something unhealthy, which means you eat your proper meal, and after that I'm okay if you get a little bit of like one cookie or something that you want, but I'm never going to give you the cookie till you've eaten your lunch. So like those small things that I have, and I think that really helps. And in between I just let my child be. Yes.
Great. So environment is all the key, and who you are modeling.
Yes.
Awesome. My next question to you is like, I have heard you speak a lot this line, and earlier also you spoke that the more the parents work on themselves, the lesser it is for them to work on their kids. So could you just throw light on this one principle? I really like this a lot.
Yes, and yes, I also learned it the hard way. So, like when I became a mother, because I had not learned anything about parenting. Like, it's assumed that the minute you become a mother, you're supposed to know everything about how to be a good mother, and you should know exactly how to hold your child, feed your child, carry your child, put your child to sleep. And I thought that parenting was only about taking care of the child. That's what I thought when I became a mother, and I was very young when I became a mother, and I was like, okay, so this is what needs to be done. And that's when the challenges started for me. And when I surrendered to my mentor, that's when I realized that it's about me, it's not about my child. It's about me working on myself, working on my mindset, and working on the fact that I don't have to really be a perfect mother. I just have to be myself, enjoy my child, rest it out, take good care of myself, because when we become mothers, we are so obsessed with the child that we forget to get ready, we forget to do makeup. We are just like all over the place. Like, is the bottle sanitized, and is the bed clean, are the clothes cleaned properly? And we are just like, has my child eaten? And we are just always worried about the child. But when I understood that when I'm taking better care of myself, when I'm doing like things like gratitude, affirmation, power equation, and all of those things for myself, it's really helping me feel good. And when I'm feeling good, all of that is automatically getting transferred to my child. Because our children, they like to sort of reflect every expression. So if you're looking at your child and if you're smiling, your child is going to smile back. If you're just looking at your child and staring, your child is going to stare back at you. If your tongue is out, they're going to put their tongue out, right? So if you are not feeling happy, that's probably what your child is going to feel. And they can really feel what you're feeling. So I feel that the more you work on yourself, which means that if you can stay calm, your child is going to be more calm. If you're sleeping on time, getting up on time, taking a shower, eating, reading, doing things for yourself, and you're also signaling to your child that what, mommy has a life of her own outside of you. That is also very important, because that would give your child some space to explore what he or she wants. But if you're always hovering over your child, which is called helicopter parenting, we feel that I'm working so hard as a mother, but you're actually suffocating your child. So you also want to give that space to your child. So yes, I completely stand by it, that the more you work on yourself, the lesser you have to work on your child, and your life as a mother is going to get a lot easier. So definitely, and I think this is what all the mothers in my tribe are also doing. And you can actually feel the shift in 10 to 15 days. That's all that you need. And there are mothers who've not been doing anything for themselves for over 10 years, 15 years. They have, like, given up on everything just because they want to be there for their children. And that's great, but you really need to work and do things for yourself, because you're going to collapse at some point. Everybody, it's like an elastic band. Some of us can stretch till here and then we break. Some of us can stretch a little longer, but at one point everybody breaks down. So before that point comes for you, it's better you bring it back.
Awesome. I will tell you once again that I can keep listening to you. Seriously, loving the way you are explaining every concept. So, thank you once again for coming here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have get any new perspective on this topic.
Thank
Now,
you.
like since you are one of the top 10 super speakers of Success Gyan Super Speaker Season 2, first of all, congratulations and hats off, because out of 2 lakh registrations, getting to top 10 is seriously not easy, and you have finally made it. So, like, how was your journey? What did you experience, and what was that one lesson that you learned, the one major lesson that you learned throughout this journey?
Yes, so it was a very beautiful journey. And if I have to be honest, it was also very overwhelming and challenging. because when we were making videos from home, maybe not so challenging now because I've been doing it for some time, but writing everything and expressing everything in 75 seconds was a big challenge for me, because I'm sure you've made out that when I speak, I just don't stop. Right? So and I mostly speak without preparing. So when you have to, and when you're doing a 75-second piece or a 90-second piece, you have to memorize word by word, because if you've not, there is no guarantee that you'll be able to finish it within 75 seconds. And when you memorize and you deliver, it's very difficult for it to look natural, because now you are not. But that was one very big challenge for me, but it was a great learning curve. And so I was only focused on the next step, which means that when I made the first video, I was like, only top 1,000 is great. Like, even if I make it to top 1,000, there's such fantastic people who are participating, I would be very happy. Given that 2 years back I was not making any videos, I was so shy, introverted, scared to put myself out there. Even if I make it to top 1,000, I would be very happy. And then, when you get to top 1,000, then you know how we are as human beings, right? We just want more and more and more, and it never stops, right? And then I was like, okay, now top 250. And that would be good enough. And then, at 250, and after 250, genuinely, I really didn't feel that I'm going to make it, because the videos were so amazing. Like, my video was nice, it was simple, but the other videos, like, people are walking and talking, and people, like, drone shots, and like crazy production, and such amazing videos. I was like, Riddhi, now you're definitely like out of the game, but be happy that you made it till top 250. Okay, and I was really, the day before top 10 was going to be announced, I was really chilling, and we were playing with we were playing board games, all of us friends. And they were like, do you think you're going to make it? I was like, and because, we had this voting round, so the whole world knew that, now I'm a part of this. So they were like, do you think you're going to make it to top 10? I was like, no way. No way. And we were so relaxed, and I was not worried. On the day when it was going to be announced, the pressure really built up for me, because my in-laws called me, okay, and my family started calling me, and they were like, we are praying for you. And my mother-in-law, I'm praying for you that you're going to be on top 10. And my father-in-law, I've asked all my friends to vote for you. I really hope you make it to top 10. And now I'm like, oh God, I really wish I make it to top 10, so that these people feel happy. And that's when the pressure, really built up for me. And yes, and when I saw that email, I was like completely, like, I started crying. And because there was this picture in my head that I was holding for a really long time, that I want to be on the stage and I want to speak, because I was not able to do that ever. This was the first time. Super Speaker was the first time that I was on the stage and I was going to speak. And I felt that, finally I got an opportunity to share my message from the stage. So it was very overwhelming for me. But what I love about Super Speaker and the way it is designed, that at no point you feel that you're competing with somebody else. That's how, and the way Suren, in the internal meetings that we have, the way he sets the context, you just don't feel that you're competing with anybody else. You are always feeling that, how can I just get to the next level? How can I give my best? And obviously, you always want to win. And that's also what I wanted to, even though I was not very sure after top 10 also, because there were such fantastic people. But I just wanted to be like, I'm going to go and be there and say everything without forgetting my lines, and that would be a big win for me. And yes, beautiful friendships. And we just met for TTT, and all of us had such a nice time together. So I think that was one of my biggest takeaway, all the friends that I made because of this beautiful journey. And I would highly recommend everybody to go through it once, not to win or not to be on the stage, but to go through this whole experience, because this is one experience that I would definitely remember for the rest of my life, and probably speak to my grandchildren also about it at some point. And yeah, I had to really, for everything in my life, I've really had to work hard and struggle. So even to be on the stage, it did not come easy for me. I had to go through multiple rounds to actually put myself out there. So yes, but I'm glad it happened.
So it was like everyone manifested you being on that stage.
Yes, yeah, a lot of people prayed for
Awesome.
sure.
Super awesome. Thank you for sharing that feeling that you are already a goddess. Super. Now my next question is like, since you are creating this beautiful tribe of mothers, helping them to be courageous, confident, and creative, how can other people who are going to watch this, how can they join you in this tribe of yours?
Right. Thank you so much. So, of course, I have a free masterclass which happens mostly on Wednesdays and Sundays. We keep changing. If you want, I can share the link with you. It's the same link, and the date keeps getting updated. So, that would be the best way to enter the tribe. Come for the masterclass, experience it if you see value in it. And if you want to learn about parenting in a more structured way and do better for your child, I would love for you to join the masterclass. And otherwise, I create a lot of content on Instagram for mothers. So you could follow the space there and get a lot of value. But having said that, I feel there's always going to be a difference between free information and structured information. Because when I started my journey of learning, I went on the internet and I learned about parenting from every single possible source. But what I feel is that when you're learning from different sources, you're getting, it's like, what is spiritual? Okay, I'm just going back. So, spirituality is, getting one with God or getting one with yourself. And religion is like, different paths to get there, right? Just like that, in parenting, when you're consuming free information from the internet, your end goal is to become the best version of yourself for your child. But when you're consuming, and this is what I experienced, when you're consuming free information, what happens is that you're trying to become the best version. You're following different paths. Like one day you're following Hinduism, one day you're Judaism, one day Christianity. So, there's like one full khichdi. I'm not saying that there is no guarantee that you'll not reach there. Maybe you get there, it's just going to take you a lot more time and it's going to be very confusing. But when you surrender to one process, it just becomes a lot easier. You have a lot of clarity about what is it that you need to do every day. So that's why I feel that it's always good to find yourself a mentor. And I would love to be that mentor for a lot of mothers if they want to learn about parenting in a more structured way.
Super awesome. So it's like when you have a mentor, you can actually shorten up your path, right?
Yes, and you're also on the right track, and that really, because you're learning from their experience and you're not having to repeat the mistakes that they have already learned from. So they are passing on all of that 10 years of information to you in just like 5 days. So you really have to be foolish, I would say, to not learn and shorten your journey by 10 years. Yes.
Awesome. So all of you, the links will be given in the description below the video. Just your action steps will be follow her on Instagram every single day. Like, when I see your page, it's so much structured, and all the knowledge that you are sharing is of, just it can inspire, impact so many mothers. So follow her on Instagram and do join her masterclass, do join her tribe, because the kind of impact she's creating, an empire of motherhood, if I can say, is truly awesome. My last question to you will be, since you have shared a lot of golden nuggets, a lot of messages we have received from you, but what would you give your last one message, your last one piece of message for all the mothers out there?
Just for the mothers or for your whole audience?
It's your choice, whole audience or mothers.
Okay, I'll keep it the same for everybody and mothers, and I'm going to include everybody. Find yourself a mentor. That would be my message, because I think I was a little late, and I got some few, not few, many amazing mentors. And I think when you have a mentor, your life can really change very quickly. So if you don't have a mentor that you're learning from, I would highly recommend that, irrespective of the nature of the work that you're doing, you could be in the digital space and parenting, life coaching, or drawing, sketching, art, whatever it is, you really need to have a mentor, because that is something that can change the game completely for you. So yes, that would be my message. Kept it more general because you have a more bigger audience. Yes.
Thank you so much to find yourself one mentor, and I completely agree to that because when I faced depression, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos. I used to go on internet finding some motivational words, but that was all temporary. I started watching Jack Canfield's videos, but that was temporary. But when I finally registered for courses of success Gyan, when I started following one mentor at a time, that's when my life started to completely shift on a 360-degree level. So,
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing that. And all of you just follow her page, follow her on Instagram, join her in her tribe. And you can find all the links below in the description. Also, comment down your biggest key takeaways or aha moments in the comments so we know that it really helped you. And to you, thank you so much. A big thank you. It was really an honor for me to host you. I
Yes,
hope you
thank you.
enjoyed.
Yes, thank you so much, Gargi. Absolutely loved it. Love your energy, love your enthusiasm, and love the work that you're doing and the bounce back that you had. I think that's just fantastic, so inspiring. And as we speak, there is so much that I'm learning from you just by looking at you, looking at the speed with which you take action, and how relentlessly you have been learning, and also sharing your information for the last 3 years. Like, I think it's just amazing. And also your books. Like, thank you so much for the work that you do. We need more of you. The world needs you. The world is waiting for you. So, sending you lots of love and deep, deep gratitude for the amazing person that you are.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, God.